So, you know what you have to do, and you're really motivated to do it. You're going to do the task and easily complete it, but you just can't seem to start. You know what? Actually, I'll start at 2:30 because it's just a nice whole number. So instead of studying, you watch my videos thinking that they're educational and productive. But when 2:30 comes around, you tell yourself that, oh, I'll do it at 3 instead. And so it just gets delayed and delayed. Here's how to develop discipline as a student, which is probably the most important life skill you can acquire, not only for studying, but for life. The last thing I say is probably the most important thing I say on this channel, so make sure to stick around for that. Number 1, scheduling rests. As a student, I know just as well that free time sometimes just doesn't exist. Especially if you have to juggle multiple things like sports on top of other things such as studying. You find yourself not having enough time for breaks or free time. And so because we don't have free time, we end up watching YouTube, scrolling on TikTok, indulging in these pleasures because we're tired and we feel that we're owed rest. But since we haven't got it, we end up mixing studying and rest, and this is the worst thing you can do. It makes it so that you can't do either of them effectively. And so the solution to this is to schedule rests before you plan out the rest of your day. So for example, for today, I might say that during 2 to 4, it will be free time for me to do whatever I want. Because you can hate on yourself and call yourself silly, stupid for not being able to just focus and work. But it's true that humans work best with breaks. It's proven that the best revision strategy, the best way to schedule your work is to schedule blocks of deep work and rests in between. And it's vital to keep your mental health in check while also studying to get those grades. And so by scheduling our day and tasks around rests makes it guaranteed that we'll end up having time for it and not end up with no free time. Because think back to the time when you said that, oh, I'll just finish this and then I'll go to sleep. You hardly ever finish it by that deadline. That's because you didn't actually schedule that in first. You scheduled the break in as an extra, so it ended up just getting pushed and you didn't get the break. But now, since we've allocated this time for breaks, you have to promise yourself that you won't get distracted during studying because you have literally allocated time for you to rest now. This divide is so important. You should work when you work and play when you play. If you sit down to work but keep on checking your phone, your focus is going to be scrambled and you won't be able to focus, not to mention the psychological impacts of your brain associating your workplace and play place together, so you won't be able to do either of them effectively. So save your free time for your free time. It feels better anyway when you rest after doing a big task. It's like a reward. The second one is never a perfect time. I'll just start at 2:30 because it's a nice number. No, I know you're guilty of that. There's never a perfect time to start. This is just your brain trying to make excuses because whenever you actually done the work at 2:30, you always end up delaying it because simply it's the words that are saying I'll do it later. You actually don't want to do it, so you won't end up doing it. So you have to stop doing things because you feel like it. You're relying on motivation, and if you've watched this video, you'll know that relying on motivation is the reason for your downfall. Because let's be honest, you'll never feel like it. You'll never want to study for that test. You'll never want to do your scales for your piano. You'll never want to do work for your business. We have to start doing things because we need to do it, not because we want to. This is also like a muscle, so the more we get used to doing things that we don't want to do, and the more we get used to this, the easier it will become. So stop saying there's a perfect time and you'll do it next time. I'll start a YouTube channel when the competitions die down. I'll start studying when exams are closer because there's never a perfect time. And whenever you get these kind of thoughts, just tell your brain no. I'll give you an example of this. This morning I told myself I'll wake up at 6, but my brain was just saying just 10 more minutes. It's not even that bad if I wake up a bit later. But I just said no and woke up because I knew that it wouldn't help me in the long run, and these thoughts are literally just thoughts. It's scary to ignore your brain because they're your thoughts, right? But most of the time your brain's relying on your subconscious and your emotions. And so whenever you don't want to wake up early because you're scared you'll be tired or you just feel lazy, just by thinking about why your brain said that and actually actively saying no to it and doing the opposite is a practice that you can start doing in all aspects, such as waking up, but it can also be applied to things such as studying techniques. And the last one is processes, not goals. Both the winner and loser had the intention, the goal of winning, but one was a winner and one was a loser. I did the survey quite a while ago about your problems in school, your goals, your ambitions, etc. and they're all quite similar. To get good grades, to be rich, to make your parents proud, get a good job. But did you think that the people that don't end up with these things didn't have these goals? Perhaps you're watching this video just dreaming about what it would be like to get all A's, but you need to be spending time building a routine. Small and consistent gains, not daydreaming. Because goals are good, they give you motivation and direction, but we need to get there somehow. Just by setting this goal, there's a big gap between point A and point B. The way we get there is to build a system. Getting rid of distractions, doing tips in these videos are strengthening your foundation, making it so that you have the skill set to reach the goal. And so for many people, they say, I'll be happy once I reach the goal. I'll be happy once I make lots of money. I'll be happy when I get the good grades. They're postponing their happiness to behind the goal. And if you just think about this is harmful in so many aspects, because you're likely to fall into a slump since you don't find the process fun. You're postponing all of your happiness behind that thing. So unless you reach that, until you reach that, which is not a defined process, you're never going to be happy. You need to learn how to enjoy the process, because the goal isn't something that's going to happen fast. So for example, your goal to get rich, to get good grades, to get a good job aren't just goals that are going to happen overnight. You have to think of it in the long term. So work consistently and make marginal gains. By doing things in the video, for example, you should be excited and be happy of creating this process, and small results towards your big goal should make you happy. It's like the person who set the goal of doing 10 pull-ups by the end of the year. Sure, by achieving the goal of being able to do 10 pull-ups will be the biggest source of happiness for them. But do you not think when they're able to do one pull-up, when they realize that going to the gym is actually fun, they realize that they're healthier and happier than ever, do you think that that's not going to make them happy? Come back to this video whenever you feel like you're lacking discipline. It's something many people lack, but it's also the thing that most people need. By watching this video, you're more disciplined than 99% of people. Build processes as well as goals. Realize that there's not a perfect time to do anything, and also realize that you have to schedule in rests before.